check out Predenting. Go talk to Andrew. I guarantee you, he will get you into a school that you want to go to.
How to go from zero acceptances and being a reapplicant to getting six acceptances, including a dream school, which is also ranked as number 2 in terms of the best dental school in the US and also being one of the most competitive and best in the entire world without spending $70,000 on a master's program and without retaking the DAT. Malik, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How you do it is you join Predenting. Yeah.
There we go. Um, awesome. So give me some background about yourself and let's start from there.
My first time around, I went in kind of blind. I did it all by myself, and I got some interviews, but no acceptances, unfortunately. And I was a bit, put down by that. But I tried again, and I got some help the second time, and it made all the difference. I got let's see, 13 invitations, and I attended 10 of those, or excuse me, 9 of those, and converted 6 of those to acceptances, and the rest were waitlists. So it was a very big turnaround. Like Andrew mentioned, I didn't spend a year doing a master's or the money that it costs to do a master's, and I think Predenting really made all the difference. My big fear going into it was, okay, I'm a reapplicant and I have pretty much the same content as the previous application. So how do I, show myself as someone brand new with pretty much the same content? If it didn't get me in the first time, then what are the chances it will the second time? So that was one fear. The other fear was, my stats across the board are pretty good, except my GPA was a little bit below average.
So then we started working on your application materials, your activities, your personal statement, the way you went about responding to the different application questions. And how was that process? And going through it in that really diligent way where we brainstormed everything and then was like, okay, this is the perfect thing to talk about. How was that all for you? And you see kind of how big of a difference that made for you?
Our process, I really liked how we talked first about where do we want this, piece of writing to go? What are we trying to show here? What are we uh, what are we not trying to show here? That as well. And so just kind of getting idea of where you want to go with this beforehand would saved a lot of time, and it just made the process more efficient. And then I would go and draft it out, and you were always readily available either by text or by email, and you very promptly reviewed what I wrote, and we'd meet regularly, which also kept me accountable. So it was a very efficient process. We got a lot of work done in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. The way I think about it is like, how can we kind of leverage your background and experiences and say it in a way that's going to really resonate with what the admissions committees are looking for,
Yeah.
and really just showcase you in the best way possible. Sometimes being kind of strategic in the way we go about things, like tactical, and just making sure, like you said, it's like framing the things the right way. It's like, yes, you have the same content, the same experiences and things like that, but how do we talk about that in the best way? And
Yeah.
that's what I think when we put our two minds together and work on those things, that's when we get that awesome application that gets you so many interviews and acceptances to such great programs. And then that showed because when interview season came around, you end up getting, was it 3 times more acceptances? You said 3 your first time, 9 the second time around.
Yeah, I actually got 13 interview invitations, but 4 of them I couldn't attend just because of scheduling.
Yeah.
They were great schools, but I just couldn't attend them. So of those 9 that I attended, I converted 6 of them into acceptances, and the rest were waitlists, so no denials. So the second time around, we spent a lot of time doing interview prep, and I think that also was the big leg up that I had the second time around. It really, because I really showed myself as who I was on paper. The prep that I did with Predenting was to me more valuable than any interview experience I got in corporate America.
Having gone through the interview cycle and ended up getting your acceptances, what did those acceptances look like and to what schools?
Yeah, so I interviewed at 9 places and got 6 acceptances and 3 waitlists. So the acceptances were at AT Still University in Arizona, Midwestern University in Arizona as well, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine in Florida, Boston University, University of New England, and UNC Chapel Hill. It was by far the happiest day of my life. I know my parents were super happy, and just friends and family were giving me an outpouring of love that really touched me, and it's a very happy time in my life.
That's amazing. And
Yeah,
I love to hear that, and it's well deserved, and I'm super, super happy for you and for your
I'm
family that
thankful.
gets to keep you close.
Yes, yes, staying close to home, that's always good. Yeah.
Okay, looking back on everything, what do you feel like was the most valuable or best part of working together?
I would say, it's a very grueling inner application process. And I know personally my friends, some of them, they don't, some of them it takes an application to realize, it takes one cycle to realize that this is a kind of a full-time job on its own. So that I would say just one big thing, it's a really small thing, but it makes a big difference, is just accountability. Is when, you have regularly scheduled appointments with yourself, then you get the work done. And having a very good bird's eye view from the beginning of where I want to go with my application, that also just relieves a lot of anxiety, because you know where you're going. Um, those were probably the biggest things. And then the interview prep, like I mentioned, I think that made a big difference. And yeah, I mean, overall, I know people who have used, services, and, you know, they have some results. And then I know some people who've used no services, and they don't know all the nuances of the application process. And sometimes you have to make those mistakes like I did the first time, to learn that. So I think it's always worth having someone who knows this process by your side. And I'll tell you, I was in the beginning, I was a little worried because I was like, this guy has so many clients. How is he gonna, give me attention? But he did. I never for a second felt that I wasn't getting your undivided attention. And I was actually in awe. I was like, this guy's a machine. How is he always on top of it? But it's great. I'm really glad that I found Predenting, and I recommend it to all my friends who are applying right now. I think it's well worth it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and yeah, I mean the whole reason why I started pre-deng was because I saw so many pre-dentals and my friends go through experiences with advising. I was like, just didn't work out for them, and it's like the person didn't care, and I was like, I needed, to help bring that other side of what this can be. So I'm
Yeah.
happy you saw that in terms of, I like how you described it as being a machine in terms of always being on it. But yeah, that's what I truly do, and what I've of course dedicated a big part of my life to. And I'm happy that you saw that, because that's what this is all about. It is about you. It's, me being here for you and helping you through this process. And yeah, it means a lot to hear that. So thank you. Um,
Thanks for Predenting. Yeah.
Having gone through this process, it was obviously also a big investment. Looking back on it, do you think that investment was worthwhile? And would you recommend predenting to other predentals, whether they're reapplicants or first time applying?
I've compared the prices of pre-denning to other places, and I think it's worth the money. Like, you're actually getting something for it. Whereas with other companies, you'll pay them a similar amount, but you don't always get the undivided attention. You don't get a lot of the advice is canned advice for professional students in general. So you're really getting a specific advice to you and your situation, and that is invaluable. You can't put a price tag. So, at the end of the day, like, this is my situation, but I'm going to an in-state school and saving a lot of money. So it was well worth the investment, right? I have, this was probably the best money I've spent in my life. So I'll put it like that.
I love to hear things like that, because of course, being a service-based uh, service or like
Yeah.
business in the advising role, it is all about, okay, is that person going to be there for me? Am I going to get, my money's worth? And of course, the result. Did you ever look at what the price difference is between being able to attend your in-state school and one of the best schools in the entire world, UNC, versus like another down school outside
Of
of North
course, yeah.
Carolina?
There's a big difference, right? I mean, I think the school I really liked, but was out of state, and that was like almost 600K over 4 years. So, you can love the school, it can have all the technology and all that, but at the end of the day, you want to pay 600K for a degree that can cost you 200K somewhere else. that's up to you, right? So there is a numbers game to it, and there is a difference between public and private, in-state, out-of-state, all that. So, but I worried about the money after I got the acceptances, just see what's in hand and then choose the best. But yeah, there is a big price difference, of course.
Roughly how much do you think you're saving going to your state school, Chapel Hill, versus an out-of-state school?
So I was gonna go to LECOM first. That was where I was headed. And the price difference between that and UNC is I want to say about 80K per year just in tuition. So and it's a little bit lower cost of living, but 80K per year, that's what, $320,000 over 4 years. And then interest on those loans. After 10 years, that's like looking at 500K, right? At least. So
Yeah.
it is a big difference.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. Okay. And a lot of people don't even understand that when they're like, I just want to get accepted to one school. I'm always like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to keep options open because the difference,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, could be in this case over $300,000. Even if
Hmm.
it's 100,000 or $200,000, that's still very, very significant.
Yeah.
You said you tack on a loan on that with 7% interest.
Hmm.
Yeah. So would you recommend other pre-dentals use predenting?
Of course, without a doubt. I already do tell all my friends who are applying this cycle, like, check out Predenting, go talk to Andrew. I guarantee you, he will get you into a school that you want to go to. And I tell them as much as I can. And I tell them my story, and some of my friends have come to as well. But yeah, it's without a doubt, I would recommend Predenting. It always, even if you don't think you need the help, you probably do. There are things that are not on your radar. And it's always nice to have a second set of eyes, especially Andrew's eyes, because he knows what to look for.
Yeah, and I appreciate those words and the referrals as well. That means a lot to me that you trust me with, of course, the people you care about the most and mean the most to you and their future. And I don't take that lightly.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I like I said, I couldn't have done it without you, Andrew. I'm really glad that I found you, and I'm super excited for these next 4 years.
If you want to get results like Malik, if you want to go through the application and this admissions process with less stress and put together the best story that's going to help you stand out in the eyes of admissions officers so you can get accepted to your dream dental schools, I'll leave a link below where you could sign up for a free consultation to speak with me and we can see if that's the right fit and what I can do to help you get accepted too.